Welcome to the STEM Pathways with Rohan Sharma podcast, where we dive into the exciting world of science, technology, engineering, and math. In each episode, we share exciting stories, groundbreaking research, and inspiring interviews with experts and enthusiasts who are pushing the boundaries of innovation. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just curious about how the world works, join us as we explore the endless possibilities of STEM. Let's get started. Today, I'll be interviewing Vikram Pillavella, who holds an MBA from Rice University. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ron. How are you doing?
Good. And thanks for coming on the podcast. So to get started, I wanted to ask what made you choose your major of electrical and electronics engineering for your bachelor's degree?
Oh, so that's a great question. So my family has a lot of electrical engineers, and my grandfather, to be honest, worked in the electrical industry for almost 40 years. And when I was growing up, I used to, play around with a lot of stuff that he brings to home from his office, and I built natural curiosity towards the path. And when it was my time to, get into engineering and choose a discipline, and it was like a natural transition to me from my high school to get electrical engineering because I was always curious about it. So yeah, I had a lot of fun going into my bachelor's, taking electrical and electronics engineering as my discipline. And eventually, I started working in the similar industry, even though I was a strategy consultant. So that was my path, to electrical and electronic engineering.
Yeah. So what was your experience like while getting your degree?
Oh, so you mean my bachelor's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So to be honest, I've learned a lot during my bachelor's. It's not only that I'm just learning about what I'm reading about in the industry and the particular discipline, but also you learn a lot of skills that is applicable across multiple industries. Just say, for example, I did my bachelor's in electrical and electronics engineering, but the skills that I've learned can be applied or was applied to multiple industries when I was doing my bachelor's because I did multiple internships uh, across, computer science, uh, electrical and electronics companies like BHEL. So the skills that I've learned has been a game changer, and I applied those skills in multiple industries. So that was my experience. I know it's a long answer, but so it was for 4 years. So I've learned a lot during my bachelor's.
Yeah. So what was your first job out of your bachelor's degree?
So I joined as a business analyst at Accenture. Uh, So I did that for almost 1.5 years. Then I was promoted as a strategy consultant, worked across multiple industries like downstream oil and gas, telecom, and uh, biotech industries. So you know how consulting works. So you're not confined to one particular industry. So then I transitioned to entrepreneurship world. I started as a business. I then joined as a business development manager at a retail clothing startup, worked there for 2 years, gained a lot of skills in entrepreneurship. And I want to gain more holistic perspective about the business world because that would piqued my interest. That's why I got into a Rice MBA to explore further.
So how'd you like getting your MBA?
Uh, MBA is one of you know the life-changing experience that I've ever seen because it's a terminal degree. So you can study further. I mean, you can get into PhD, but so MBA is considered as a terminal degree. So whatever you try to learn or whatever skills you try to gain in school. So I think this kind of a an end for the academics. So you have to make the most out of it. And Rice MBA offered a holistic perspective on the business aspect because So Rice MBA is considered as the number one graduate program for entrepreneurship in the US. So you know how the ecosystem works. So we had interactions with a lot of VCs, a lot of private equity firms in understanding their expertise in starting businesses and also how to acquire the established business and have it turn around into a good business. I think the experience was great, and Rice MBA, all the professors, they are very helpful. Uh, yeah, that's my experience in MBA.
Yeah. And one thing I've heard about MBAs is one of the really important aspects of it, especially one of the things that defines what makes a school good is the networking. How's
Mhm.
that?
Oh, networking. So Rice has a very strong alumni network across US. But if you take Houston, for example, there are so Houston is the world's energy capital, right? So you have all the oil and gas industries, all the climate tech, so the upcoming climate tech industry, a lot of startups. So we have Rice alumni across the entire energy industry and the clean tech space. So whenever I try to reach out to people who are Rice alumni, so they are always welcoming. That's what surprised me because, you know, and the class size is very small. So if you take any cohort, for example, so the average class size is 150, which is way, way, way less than a lot of Ivy League schools where the cohort size is all on an average of 1,000 people. So I think that's what nurtures a deep relationship among the people in the cohort or the students in the cohort, or whenever you try to reach out to your alumni. So they are always welcoming because they always give back, want to give back to the community. So I think that's what my experience is in terms of networking. And I built a great network, and the saying goes, network is your net worth. And that is really important, especially with MBA, because it's all about people, right? So in MBA, you don't really, I mean, you study about a lot of things, but it's all about how you talk with or how you manage the people. So I think networking is a very important aspect when you're in MBA, and that's what is a make or break for your career.
So what are you working on right now?
So I'm currently working on my own startup. I'm the founder and CEO of an AI startup, artificial intelligence startup called Cognitive. So we are building the industry's first digital mentor for organizations, and we are currently focusing on the energy ecosystem, both oil and gas, and climate tech industry. And we are currently working with our first customer, who is a climate tech startup, and also we are going through multiple accelerator programs, one by UT Austin Texas Venture Labs, and another one by a launch VC based in San Francisco. And that takes majority of my time, but I also work as a consulting intelligence analyst with Meta, where I'm working on the next gen LLM. Yeah, I can't talk too much about it. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, so that's what I'm currently working on.
So where do you see your startup headed in the next like 5, 10 years?
So when I say that we are building the industry's first digital mentor, I'm not exaggerating. So, I mean, given my research and also the competitive analysis about the industry and the space, there is no a digital mentor tool that exists in the industry right now. And also the technology behind our product is quite interesting. I can say it because no one is leveraging the digital exhaust or unstructured data, which means a lot of people leave behind a lot of data when they interact with a lot of social media platforms or any other tools that they use in their daily lives. So we want to leverage that data and convert it into actionable insights. And we want to give it to an employee from day one. That's why the term digital mentor. But I strongly believe that if we can conquer very niche industries like oil and gas, healthcare, where privacy is a very important aspect. I think it's going to go in a very good way. And yeah, and we can see it as a unicorn, I guess, probably, if everything goes well.
Yeah. So for my last question, I wanted to ask if you have one piece of advice for someone who's still in high school or early in college wanting to follow a similar career path as you.
So I would say to be curious about each and everything and always question about what you're doing. Because when you try to introspect that, in which way or which path to go, so there is no one answer fits all. So it's always up to you to try and figure out what you want to do in your life, and just don't blindly follow anyone or any career path just because it looks cool, right? So I think that's a piece of advice that I would give for anyone.